Just before Christmas in December 2023, Marten Transportation gave all of its drivers a bag of coal for Christmas. Before we get into discussing this, I want to break away to our investigative journalist, Mr. Cooper. He has some very choice words to say to Marten Transportation. You've been warned. This is laced with profanity and vulgarities. Let's break away to Mr. Cooper. Sorry about Mr. Cooper there. He gets a little rough and gruff at times. Sorry, this is really not a laughing matter, folks. What Marten Transportation did is just wrong. I mean, it's just absolutely wrong what they did. It just goes to show you how we are losing our morals and ethics and values in this country. Is that specifically towards Marten Transportation? No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's across the board with corporations. Corporations are ungodly. They lust over money. They profit and profit more and profit more. When it slides, they just lose it. And they have to blame someone. They have to take something away from someone to make them feel better about not being on that upward curve. Why is it always the truck drivers? That's what I have never understood. I I personally know some trucking company owners. I know some. They are full of themselves. They think without them it's nothing. To a point that's true. To a point that's true. But without your drivers, you're absolutely nothing. Why do you think they want automated trucks? That's why they want automated trucks. It's a robot. It has no emotion. It has no feeling. It doesn't have to take time off to spend with family and friends. It doesn't have to go to the hospital when someone has an accident. It just works. And that's what corporations want. They want to take the mind and the feeling out and just have it just a series of numbers and a dispatch. Go here, do this, go here, do this, make us money. That's the truth of the matter. And that's the way more and more and more corporations are going. The morals, the ethics, the values have disappeared. With that being said, it is not exclusive to Marten Transportation. Doesn't validate what they did. I'm going to get to what they did a little bit later in the video. First off, I want to address something that was in one of my previous videos. I put up a stock chart and went through some stock matrix, and one of the commenters laughed at me because I had made a comment that I used to buy and sell stocks, which I did. I understand how it works. I didn't want to get that involved with it because I didn't think that a lot of people would be interested in that. I just chipped away at the top of the iceberg and just went on. with this video, I think I'm going to get a little more involved with it. I'm going to tell you exactly what is going on with Marten Transportation, what led up to their decision that they made. Basically, what it is frustration. What it all really boils down to, you take this part out and this part out and this part out, what it all really comes down to is frustration. Look, Marten Transportation, you're not alone. Everyone is going through this. From the biggest carrier out there in the United States to the lowest trucking company in the United States, I had to park my truck because of this. I had been an owner-operator since 2007. It got to the point where I was running for fuel money and I had to park my truck. You're not alone. The difference between you and I is the fact you can't afford to shut your trucking company down because you have nothing then. What about me? When I shut mine down, I had to go work for a company. Do you think I like that? Do you think that's something that excites me every day I go to work? Knowing that I was an owner-operator all of those years, and now I am sitting in a truck that tries to kill me on a daily basis with all these safety features that are on it. I don't like this at all. So instead of throwing shade at someone, throwing blame at someone, why don't we all get together and fix the problem? That's what I keep saying. We could all stick together and fix the problem. Anyway, Marten Transportation CEO Tim Cole was appointed May 2021. His salary was $1.4 million. At the end of 2022, his salary increased to $1.7 million. That just hurts. That hurts my heart. It really, really hurts my heart. There is no CEO, none whatsoever, in the United States, around the world. There is not one CEO in this world that is worth $1 million. But it doesn't stop there. In this that I'm reading here, Marten Transportation CEO is Tim Cole, appointed May 21, has a tenure of 2.58 years. That's his contract. I guess if he doesn't perform correctly, then he leaves. But he's going to leave on a very good term, even if he does a bad job. His total yearly compensation is 1.66. I said 1.7, rounded up. It's 1.66 million, comprised of 43.1% salary, 56.9% bonuses, including company stock and options. He directly owns 0.31% of the company's shares, worth $5.36 million. That's what he is worth on top of his salary. Nobody in this world is worth that much money. And then you step up and you have Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Elon Musk. It's sickening, folks. It's absolutely sickening to me. Now, going to the company, I'm going to put up a chart right here showing what the company has done over the last 4 years. The commenter that made fun of me laughed at me and said, you can't just take a small snapshot of the company to see what they're doing. You have to look at a broader picture. Here is their chart. You can see back at the very start of the chart, 3 years and 9 months ago, their stock was trading at about $11 a share. I just looked at it right before I started this video. They're trading at $22 a share currently. It's 21 and some change. Their close as of today was up around $22 a share. In the last 3.9 months, or 3 years and 9 months rather, that their stock price has doubled. Now, granted, they have had some issues. Their second quarter was bad. Their third quarter was bad. More than likely, their fourth quarter, which will end in either January or February of 2024, it ends for different companies out here, but physical fourth quarter usually ends either in January or February for most companies out there. I didn't look to see when their quarter was going to end, but they're probably going to turn in another horrible quarter. But look at this right here. This is coming from Yahoo Finance. Short term, 2 weeks to 6 weeks, their performance outlook is green, looking up. Midterm, 6 weeks to 9 months, it's looking up. Green arrow pointed up. Long term, 9+ months, looking up. Their current pattern detected is a bullish pattern. You can see it when you look back at this stock. It has continually increased. They turned in 2 bad quarters. They're probably going to turn in another bad quarter, their fourth quarter. They're losing money. They're bleeding money out of the company. So what do? They have to blame it on somebody. So who do they blame? Their drivers. I have seen this time and time again. I want to tell you a quick story of what happened to me one time when I worked at the retail store. We had a meeting and we were struggling. This was way before Walmart corporate come in and took over. This was way, way before that. We were just having a downturn period at the store. Our store manager was so furious. He had all of the employees come up to the store before the store opened and had a meeting. And he was having a little tissy fit, a tantrum. And he stood up in front of all of the employees and said, I want you to know how this works. I am in charge of this store. Not me, but him. I'm saying what he said. I am in charge of this store. Stuff rolls downhill. Every single one of you employees that I am looking at and talking to right now can pack up and go home. You are to come in here and to work and to put in a hard day's work. You are to work for your money. I don't want to see any slouching. I don't want to see any slacking, standing around with your hands in your pocket. Come in, clock in, go to work, do your job. When your job is over, when your time is up, clock out and leave. Because I will promise you, every single person that I am talking to in this room will lose their job before I lose mine. We lost a lot of employees that day. We lost a lot of employees that day. A lot of them said, we will do you the favor and we will be gone. I could not believe his arrogance. That was early 1990s. That arrogance right there has exploded since then. These companies, especially mega corporations, are making money hand over fist. Millions and millions of dollars to their portfolio, to their corporate executives. You saw right here, the guy's stock, just his stock alone is worth $5 million. What happened just before Christmas? I was talking to a Marten transportation driver. That driver told me he almost had tears in his eyes. He said right before Christmas, just a few days before Christmas, he was informed Marten Transportation would no longer pay holiday pay. And I said, is that just for the drivers or is that company wide for all their employees? And he said, I don't know. They just told me that they would not be paying any more holiday pay. I was looking forward to my Christmas holiday pay. Now I'm not going to get it. That makes me furious. It makes me sad. It makes me sick to my stomach. The way these CEOs do, the money they make, the money they have, the vacations they take. They probably have 2 or 3 homes. They have vacation homes in other countries. Because the company is sliding, who do they take it out on? The drivers. The drivers have always been, in the trucking industry, have always been the whipping post. If you want to take your vengeance out on someone, you take it out on the drivers. I know how these Marten drivers work. They have a huge contract with Walmart. They do a lot of their refrigerated products for Walmart. When does Walmart do their receiving? Usually on third shift. Not always, but usually on third shift. These guys and women that work for Marten Transportation are working third shift while the CEOs are at home asleep. These Marten Transportation drivers stay up all night running this freight. The warehouse workers stay up all night moving this product. They are the low people from the CEO's mindset. It's obviously clear that they are the low people because they are the ones that first get cut. They're the first ones that get money taken away. Even though that is the heartbeat of your operation, that's who you take it away from. Why? Because of what I keep saying on this channel over and over and over and over. Because truck drivers refuse to stick together. We refuse to build a bond and stick together and stand side by side and tell these people no. We refuse to do it. So they just keep taking advantage and keep taking advantage and keep lining their pockets with money that we go out here and work and make for them. And until we decide that we are going to stop this, they are going to keep doing it. I am going to keep trying on this channel. I'm going to keep reaching out. I'm going to keep on keeping on until either everybody goes away and says you're an idiot, you're absolutely stupid, there is nothing that you're going to change about this industry, or until I start getting a group of people together that say we have had enough. It's up to you guys which way it goes. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep bringing you this information, putting the spotlight on it, showing you what is going on. It's up to you how we go about it, what we do. I talk to truck driver friends of mine. I tell you, I have truck driver friends that I talk to on a daily basis. I've got one slightly convinced that we can go somewhere with this. The thing is, we have been beaten down so bad in this industry, they don't know where to start. I have a plan. I have a plan where we can start. But it has to start. It has to go forward. It has to move. It has to get out of the rut that we are stuck in, and we have to start moving it. If we start moving it, it will gain traction and go more and more and more and more. Just like what I said about the trucker convoy or strike or whatever they called it. They drove around the Beltway up in Washington, D.C., a few laps around the Beltway, honked their horn and raised their fist, and we showed them. We did it. We gave it to the man. And then they went home and everything was back business as usual. You can't do it that way. I have heard truck drivers for 20 years. Oh, if we just go on strike, 2 days, that's all it takes. We'd shut this country down. Yeah, and there's some fairy tale stories I can read to you too. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The only way that we are going to work is to do what these corporate executives do, to fight the fire with the fire, for us to start getting together and forming a unit and building and building and getting bigger and going after it. Folks, I can tell you right now, whether you have faith and trust in me or not, I don't know if you do or not. You don't know me personally. More than likely, if you're watching this video, you don't know me personally. There is a couple of things that I want to read to you to show you how I feel. The things I want to read to you are quotes. Now, whether you are a Christian person or not, it doesn't matter. If you must, I don't suggest you do this, but if you must, Take God out of the equation. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in Christianity. Take it out of the equation if you must. But here's something I want to read to you. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. But you, O man of God, flee these things and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, gentleness. The other I want to read, whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. This, too, is meaningless. Correlate that with what I just said about corporations not being godly. Ethics, morals, values, faith has no place in corporations. None. Absolutely no part in it whatsoever. It is not about your fellow man. It is about the trek and the lust for money. Why is Marten Transportation doing this? Because they're having a tissy fit. They're having a tantrum that they're losing money. They lost it in their second quarter. They lost it in their third quarter. They'll probably lose it in their fourth quarter before it turns around, even though their stock is just steadily increasing. It's sickening. It is totally sickening that they have to go after the little man. But this has been going on for 20, 25 years. It has been going on for 20 or 25 years, and our federal government just sits back with their arms crossed, looking around and saying, we see nothing, we hear nothing. We don't know what's going on. We can't stop it. Why? Because they are laundering money through the lobbyist straight into the politicians' pockets. That's why. This is a country that's supposed to be of the people, for the people, by the people. This country has turned into of the corporation, for the corporation, by the corporation. And the lobbyists and the federal government are side by side with them. They're not here for us. They are here for them. Some things for you to think about. You guys have to try to have a good day.